Hello everyone. If you're listening to this, keep it to yourself. Now today we're going to do a recap of what happened on GBPAUD and what we're expecting for the next week for GBPAUD. Now let's go on a recap what happened last week. And looking at this is a weekly candle. Actually, I used to do my top down analysis from the month. So let's do a top down analysis. Last month candle. This is a retracement of this last month candle. And moving to a weekly, just know that moving to a weekly, and this is the last week candle that we experienced this last week that just passed us by. Now let's mark this. This is a bearish engulfing candle. Now last week was price got there and price was moving downward, like to respect this point. And let's see what actually happened. Move to daily. On Monday, price spike up. Tuesday we have a little bit of consolidation, and Wednesday is when the price move. Looking at this actually is a bit of manipulation here. Like a lot of people will have entered the trade on Tuesday expecting the price to go, because people are looking for this point as a resistance point. But when you shift to the weekly, you will see that okay, price haven't got to the bearish engulfing candle point. So let's go on the 4 hours and actually see what really happened. See, that's what I'm saying. This is Monday. See, Monday actually got to the point that people think, okay, support and resistance actually here, and it come down on Tuesday, go back to this bullish engulfing candles, and here we moved down to our weekly bearish engulfing candle, and price continued downward. That's the recap of what happened last week. And let's go to what we're expecting for the new week that is coming by tomorrow. So now looking at this point, as I've said, on a monthly basis doing a top down analysis, this current month that we're looking at is a retracement of this last month candle. So now let's go back to our weekly, which we have already seen what is going on. Now looking at the weekly, we have a bit of resistance, and price broke it up. Now we're expecting for price to come back to this resistance level. So now I go to my 9, mark out the resistance level. I mark my resistance level, take my box, then mark from here to here. So now let's go back to my candle. Now this is it. Now we are looking at this point for price to go there, and we might continue up. Now what actually bring up my judgment is two things. I will say one on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis, we're expecting 3 down candles, then price move up. So we're expecting the next candle to be a downward movement, and according to what we have seen, a bearish engulfing candle, price have already on the down movement, okay, on the downward movement. So we're expecting to continue to this point, to this area of the resistance, to take to shift the price upward. But for next week, we're expecting the price to come here. So we are going to talk about, okay, entry and exit, and what is the judgment for we entering the trade. So now let's go to on a daily basis. So looking on a daily basis, we have something here. First, we talk about where the price is going to, we are expecting the price to get to. Now looking here, we have a little bit of void here in this candle. This is a big spike candle without anything to stop it. It was just breaking upward, which actually break this resistance point. So we actually need this point. And looking at this, I usually look at the 50% of this big candle for price to get to retrace back to. So I mark this out as 50%, which won't be the final judgment of where we're looking for price to go to. So looking at now, we're going to step down the 4 hours. On the 4 hours, so looking at the 4 hours candle, now we have a little bit of resistance here, which is actually in accordance to what we see on the daily chart. So now we're expecting price to come to this area for our TP. That's when we were like, okay, it's enough. We've make the price. We've got to a point that we have to get out of the market. So we're expecting this point, but this is the weekly resistance point that I saw. But price is not going to respect it immediately and just go. Price will might come below it, then we keep moving up. So now let's talk about the entry point. So we go on a daily basis. For my judgment on the entry point, there's something I realized. Now looking at this point, price is on a downward movement, right? Then we saw this green candle that showed that okay, the price retraced back a little bit up. Now on a judgment of this, always know that anytime you see something like this and you're expecting price to continue to the downward movement, this green candle shows you the 50% of the total movement of the candle. So now let's do that. So let me put there to know my perfect point of taking. Sorry. Okay, now let's go back to our main candle. So this is the 50% of the total movement from here to the middle of this is the 50% of the total movement that we're still going downward, which is in confluence to where we're expecting the price to get to. So we're expecting the price to get to this phase. That's why I make my judgment that okay, the price is still going downward to this point to take our for price to get here before we start moving up. So now let's talk about, we've talked about exit. This is exit. Now we're talking about entry. How are we going to get our entry point? So looking at this point now, the last day, which is on Friday, the price form a little bit of upward candle, which just give us like a doji candle. Now let's go to 4 hours. Let's do the top down analysis on the 4 hours. Now looking at the 4 hours, I'm looking for a judgment for price to just create a double top here, then we continue our movement downward, sorry. Now that's what I'm expecting. Price might do something like this, then actually go to our point. Then Friday might be a little bit of retracement, so I don't know. We get to know that according to how the week is going. So now let's step down to 2 hours to solidify our judgment. Now let's go to 1 hour. No point of retracement here. Let's go to 30 minutes. Now on 30 minutes we see something like a bearish engulfing candle here, which we might expect the price to get here and move forward. So now I'm going to take my trade, expecting price to get here to take my trade. Now I'm expecting here to get out of the trade, but eventually the price, if the price doesn't get here, I'll be expecting the price to maybe come down a little, then go back to this support and resistance that will be forming here, because we have a strong support here. So I'm expecting okay, the price to get to this support level, then take the trade in case the price doesn't go to here and I miss the first movement. So I'm expecting the price to take the trade from this point area here. Then I'm expecting to get out of the trade at this point. Thank you and God bless.